Welcome to Daisha Breedlove Presents. Now, for those of you that are new to the show, every week I like to touch base on inspirational topics with inspirational guests who can help make your life a better one. So my guest today, she is going to be an artist named Kendra Erika. So let's meet her today and hear all about her journey in the entertainment industry and hear all the amazing things that she is doing. Okay, Kendra, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, you look amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, I checked out your Instagram and seen all the amazing things that you were doing. I was super excited to sit down and talk to you.
Yeah, well, it's like I said, it's wonderful to be here. Yeah.
Amazing. Yes. Okay. So for those who don't know Kendra, let's actually get to know you. You know I was reading in your bio that you are originally from Florida.
Yes.
So what was the moment that you actually realized your future required a bigger stage, and how did that become the destination?
Well, I always tell people that I was like this, like the small percentage of people that knew what they wanted to do when they were like 4 years old. So I already saw it, and I was like, there's no escaping it. And I just kept running towards it and walking at times, running at times, skipping at times, but just moving forward and wanting to pursue this. So I knew that I wanted to do this at a very young age, and I did what I could with my combination of my intuition and also my parental guidance, and also just guidance in general from people who I've been working with throughout my career.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, so when did you actually come to Los Angeles?
So I came to Los Angeles originally when I was 15 for some like acting programs and during like the summer when I was a teenager, and I really liked it. And like any aspiring young person would, or like because they see their constituents like the Hillary Duffs, Lindsay Lohans like doing it, and they want to emulate that. So. Those are my icons when I was.
I love it. You guys actually kind of favor a little bit.
Yeah,
about it.
Yeah, I'm like a hybrid of both Hillary Duff and Lindsay.
I can see that.
Yeah, I've noticed that. But then I was working with an artist development firm in New York originally for my music, and I was going back and forth from Florida to New York quite a bit. And when I kind of just hit a creative disflow or just wall with them, then I was introduced to Jason Dallman, who became my Billboard promoter, and then we'll get into that. But he said, "Why don't you just sort of move away from them, and I'll introduce you to my creatives and producers out here in Los Angeles." So then I came out here, and that's what started the whole. That's when I embarked on my Billboard dance career.
Amazing. So like one thing led to another. It's funny how that works, right?
Yes. Or organic, yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So that wasn't the original plan.
No, and funny enough, when I was working with this artist development firm in New York, her name's Lynn Verlaine. I'll give her some credit. She, because she's very European, she's from Belgium, and a lot of the people that were on her team and a part of her team and her structure were also from Europe as well. So they had that sort of like quality and that taste, and they just had like a different way of doing things, and they were actually designing me, being that they were an artist development firm, from everything that they've heard from me. They were designing me to be this Bond girl. Funny enough. And with elements like Ginger from Casino, Michelle Pfeiffer from Scarface, like Amy Adams from American Hustle, like all those like femme fatale characters, but mainly like a Bond girl. And so I was creating songs with like a Lana Del Rey, Jessie Ware sound, like very, very UK, very European friendly with a Bond girl essence. And it's funny now that after about 9 or almost 10 years, it's come 360.
Wow.
For me.
Yeah, I see that. And I can definitely see like a mixture of like all those ingredients in one with like your essence and like your music. And I was like, huh, that's amazing. Okay. So at what point did you actually realize your voice wasn't just about performance, but something deeper, almost a calling for you?
It's really interesting because I'm always trying to find like what that calling is. And I think now more than ever, I have more clarity in what that calling is. And that's like to bring back old Hollywood.
Okay, amazing. I love that. Okay, so every evolution requires risk, you know? So, what part of your journey kind of scared you the most, and how did you know fear wasn't just a stop sign, but actually a doorway to that next level in your career or just the next level of where you're going in life?
Well, I was having a conversation with your cameraman, your lovely cameraman outside about this.
Wow.
And actually, last year, I released "Dance in the Fire," which was a song about the fires here in LA, and there's just like a resilience and let's just dance onward, kind of an anthem.
Yeah.
But I started to notice that like my spirit just wasn't like being fulfilled.
Yeah.
And constantly releasing original dance music, and although I've had great success in it, it wasn't moving. Like
Yeah.
there was no like explosion. There was no like commercial like burst. And it's only because it's hard to fully market yourself as an original dance artist if you're not like a Dua Lipa or a Taylor Swift and are a part of some big
Already a name.
already a name or a part of a big camp or label.
Yeah.
Having a big kitchen behind you, basically. And I also realized that by performing in a lot of these clubs and festivals, a lot of the people, you can't effectively connect with them because a lot of people are on drugs or alcohol, and you can't really connect with them,
especially in this industry.
And performing late at night, like at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning. It's funny. My mom would come with me, especially to like these gay clubs that I was performing at. She's like, after you perform, you need to go out and you need to network. And I'm like, I can't effectively network with people that don't even know their own name. So I just felt like there was like this whirlpool happening, and I felt like I needed to take not necessarily a risk because I knew it wasn't going to be a risk, but I needed to make a stylistic and strategic pivot. And that was going back to my roots and going back to that foundational safety net that I had, that I've built up because I came from classical. I was classically trained. That's how I got over my tone deafness. And also the American Songbook and the jazz standards, and just going back to that classic sense where showing capability and showing skillfulness is the new cool. I mean, look at Nicole Scherzinger. People weren't taking her seriously because she was doing all the booty pop and stuff. And then she goes and does Andrew Lloyd Webber and wins a Tony. I mean, like taking those not necessarily risks but pivots. But I wasn't really scared about it. But like the people around me, I think, were a little bit more frightened than I was. Like my mom and people on my team, they were like, "We've invested so much time into the dance, and now you're doing this. It's a whole new thing." But I think it's all about timing, alignment, and like what we were talking about, that calling. And there was like something inside me that was like screaming out for me to do something classic and Bond related.
And I feel like I realize people kind of relate to you more when you're authentically yourself. It's like you say, you went back to your roots, and that's what you were familiar with. And it's like, okay, I can relate to her more and you feel more comfortable because this is what you know, versus like going out into something you're not too familiar with, you know what I mean? So I think that's amazing, and then the right people will gravitate to you as well.
And that's the key thing, is that the one thing that people don't understand, or maybe they understand but they haven't really explored it, is the law of attraction.
Yes.
Because similar interests attract similar interests. And that's how it goes. And if people aren't gravitating towards you, don't be afraid of that, because there's a lot of artists that I don't listen to because I'm not interested.
Different frequency.
And so what you need to do is do the path of least resistance and go with the people that you have that commonality with.
I agree.
So that you can be frequentially successful.
Yeah, amazing. Well said, Kendra. Okay, so my next question is, so as we mentioned, you moved, as we briefly mentioned, you moved between chart tapping dance records and cinematic storytelling. So what inner shift had to actually happen before you allowed yourself to evolve artistically?
What kind of shift?
More so, would you say like a mental shift or more of a spiritual shift, or would we say you actually being authentically yourself and going back to your roots?
Yeah, I think it's the winning combination of all of that, because I think it was just that like there was something inside of me that was telling me, that was like roaring for something to put me back on that bandwidth of authenticity and my roots. So I think it's a winning combination of all that.
Amazing. Okay. So my next question is, you're also entering a bold chapter with your new album, License to Thrill. Okay, so the James Bond songbook.
Yes.
So tell us what sparked that vision to step into this Bond era sound. What can listeners actually expect emotionally and musically from this album?
Well, it all started when I was 7 years old, when my dad showed me my first Bond movie. And wow. I was instantly, captivated by it, even at that young age. And that's when you know that you've got an old soul.
Yeah.
Is when you're like yay high and you're like, ooh.
I know, right?
You're like, oh, Sean, yeah, he looks good. And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, I gotta wait like maybe like 20, 30 more years, but I still think you're attractive. But I think it all started from that, and it was like the seed was planted and then just it grew. And like I said, I've always wanted to do something Bond related, but I think it was just too premature when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
So, and now that I'm in my early 30s, I think that maturity and that growth can elevate that and can represent it a lot better. And I can have more of an appreciation and more of an appeal. And also I now have more of like a social awareness and understanding of myself artistically and individually. So I can relay that as effectively as possible.
Amazing. So basically we can just expect the real raw Kendra.
Yes.
Who you've always been.
Who I've always been. And it's funny too, because I like to use that sort of Bond girl essence to tap into for me to perform. And a lot of people can scientifically break it down and say, or psychologically break it down and say, oh, that's a defense mechanism. But performers, we all have defense mechanisms. Yeah. It's like when you get up on stage, you can either run towards it or you can run off the stage.
Yeah.
You can either have stage fright or run towards it. And a lot of performers, they tap into a side of them that helps them garner that strength to forge them through their performance.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that I'm tapping into that Bond girl embodiment, because quite honestly, who I am in real life is I'm just like this quirky girl next door, you know, who's also gone through some stuff in her life, and also I also have my human moments.
Yeah.
And I just like to play around and joke around and just be, just tap into that little girl Kendra as much as possible. But when it comes to performance, I let that Bond girl, and that maturity and that growth and that badassness and that boldness just take a hold of me, so I can be the person that people need me to be. It's basically like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I love that. And
So.
it's amazing how like music and whatever we're into creatively can just showcase our different sides of our personalities. You know, it's like people see one thing, but it's like, actually there's another side to me, you know, and some people love this side of you, some people love that side of you. So we're super excited to, you know, listen to everything and engage of all your music. Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, so a couple more questions for you, Kendra. Yes. Okay, so the Bond world, speaking of the Bond world, it actually represents elegance, danger, and control. So in your real life, what have you had to release control over to fully kind of step into this era fully?
Letting go of that fear of the unknown. Like I said, I wasn't sure how moving away from dance and EDM, which I'm not entirely forfeiting. I'm prefacing, I've got a couple new tracks that are upbeat, but yet, you know, Bond sounding coming up this year. So I'm not completely forfeiting it, but it's, you know, just stepping out of one pool and into the other, and not really know how it's gonna go, but it's going pretty well.
Amazing. Yeah, it's exciting. So basically just not going what's safe, but facing your fears and seeing what's on the other side of it.
And isn't that what 007 always did?
Exactly. Yeah. Sure did. And that's what life is about. Because how will you know what's on the other door if, you know, you don't take a leap and see?
Exactly.
Amazing. Okay. Before you step onto the stage or into the spotlight, how would you say Kendra spiritually grounds herself, you know, to stay kind of connected to who you truly are, not just the image of who fans want you to be?
Well, it's all about stepping into a vehicle that you've made for yourself.
Yeah, that's important.
Because as we've seen time and time again with many different artists who aren't really with us today, physically, mentally, emotionally, is because they stepped into a vehicle that was engineered for them. And so that's why we're always left wondering, like, what happened to them? Like, why do they look like that? Why did they, like, what happened to their body, their face, their mind? You know, why did they OD? Why did they get into drugs, alcohol? You know, and it's because they didn't step into something that they themselves made for them. And I think that's super important and super integral, and something that is I really do see it being sort of like the new way of doing things.
Amazing.
Especially in this DIY world where it's like do it yourself. Where you have to market yourself, you have to, you know, you have to create an online presence, have social media, because if people ask you, where do we find you, you need to come correct with the reference and results. And also what's so interesting about today is that back in the day, managers used to like make you.
I sure did.
But what ended up happening is that the artists then kind of took a backseat role in being participatory. And so they didn't really have to do much work other than just show up to, you know, interviews or, you know, performances. And yes, there was like rehearsal involved, obviously. But now they're forced into being more participatory so that they can maintain being an asset versus a liability.
Exactly. Because now they're asking, what have you done for yourself before I even take you on as a client?
Yes, what have you done for yourself, so that we have proof of concept.
Exactly. And you're not just wasting my time. You know, you're going to make my job twice as hard if you haven't done anything or put anything into yourself. How can I believe in you if you don't believe in yourself?
And it goes back to just a quote that my dad has instilled in me, which is hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And my adaptation is makeup doesn't go on your face unless you apply it.
I love that.
And it's so important because I mean, that's why there's so many talented people out there that are in this woe is me mentality and in the scarcity mentality, and they're saying, I don't know, like reality TV stars getting record deals. It's because they're putting in the work.
Exactly. They want it.
They want it. It's like, oh, why is this Real Housewife getting a record deal and I'm not? Because she's posting on social media every single day, and she's putting the work in, and she's showing proof of concept, so that yeah, I'm gonna take the Real Housewife on, as opposed to the girl that's playing guitar in her bedroom and not doing anything about it.
And wants me to do everything.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the world that we're living in. So like preparation and it meets instinct are very important, and then that eliminates the hesitation if you keep moving.
Amazing. Keep moving. I love that. And as you said, finding a vehicle for yourself instead of letting everyone create it for you, because then you can kind of lose who you are, and that can be draining.
Yes.
It can be draining.
Yeah.
I love that you do that. Yeah, you look great. I'm like, you definitely have an aura and a glow about you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, coming from someone that also does.
Thanks. Okay, so couple more questions before you get out of here. Couple more questions. Okay. So your music, as we know, has reached audience across cultures and continents. So do you feel music is a spiritual language because it's a commercial one?
Well, I like this question because music is universal.
Yeah.
Sound is not. Music is universal. Sound is not. And I really do love the fact, and I keep on having to remind myself of this, that I have cultivated such a global fan base, and that only is a testament to the quality that I produce and that I put out there.
Yeah.
Because there are, like, especially in Europe, in the UK, and especially in Asia, they have a certain high standard and high quality of their music.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is why there's some Western music, and I'm talking about the US. There's some American artists that aren't really welcomed in Asia or Europe because they don't meet that quality.
Yeah.
For me, like I said, it's such a testament to me because it just shows that I have, I've done the work.
Yeah.
And that I just have that certain quality, and I'm allowed one horn tooting of myself a day, and I'm going to take this take this opportunity. But it's it's just something that I remind myself of every day. So like I said, music is universal, sound is not. And from a spiritual standpoint, knowing that only helps me find my calling even more.
Amazing. And it says a lot when you can reach multiple artists and cultures all across the world. It's like, wow, this person can relate, versus just being in one lane. That says a lot. So,
and that's another reason why I did this Bond project, is because I feel like License to Thrill is like the most unifying thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Because how many countries have the Bond films been filmed in? How many like
everyone knows about it.
Every country, or like all the Bond films, they filmed in so many different countries that everybody loves it.
Yeah.
And it's and I don't want to get too deep or polarizing, but it's just like, even the two sides that we're dealing with right now, they can agree that Bond is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's worldly, it's elegant, it's timeless. So that's another reason why I wanted to do this project, is because I knew that there was already this baked-in audience that revered it and held it to such a high regard.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, so as we wrap this up, if your younger self could see Kendra now, what would she be most proud of?
Oh gosh. I don't want to get too sappy. But um
7-year-old Kendra.
7, wow.
Yeah.
I think I would just say that I'm, I've made my parents proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. I know, we don't want to start crying up here.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, you made your parents proud.
Yeah.
Okay, so my second to last question is, as a powerful, driven woman, how do you kind of balance being fully expressed in a relationship without shrinking, but also without hardening your heart? Because, as you said, you're walking in so many different rooms. Sometimes you have to be that strong, powerful woman, but also you want to be in that feminine energy. So how would you say you kind of balance both?
Well, it's interesting because of where we are today in today's world. And I don't want to get Urkel statistic on everybody, but now with where we are in society, 53% of women hold the majority in professional and managerial roles. And
wow.
it's because that women have this skill that has been untapped, which is communication, emotional intelligence, and empathy. And especially in today's world where we're dealing with a newfound sense of communities, ethnicities, walks of life.
Yeah.
Even I don't even want to call it sensitivities, but just different understandings and different angles. Women we're now tapping into that like I said, that skill of communication, of empathy. And not everything is so cut and dry as it once was.
Yeah.
Where
we didn't even have the power to even be in that position.
We're not in a Mad Men society where everything was just cut and dry and women were disposable. Now women have aspirations, women have goals, and through adaptation, we've managed to discover and explore that balance between trying it a hard ass way and it not working, or trying it too much of a feminine approach and it not working. Yeah. So we're now finding that middle ground. Yeah. And because of where we are in society right now, I think especially for me, I'm a part of that, because trying to be like boss babe, I got this, doesn't make you happy. And then also being the little wallflower, oh, I can do this, can't with a can of Campbell's soup and an apron, you're gonna get walked over.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's striking that balance and finding that that strength through femininity is very important. Yeah. And that's something that I'm individualistically exploring, and I think I've done a pretty good job at.
Amazing. Amazing. Okay, well said. So my last question is, if you could leave anyone listening with one piece of advice you live by, what would it be?
Like I said, as my dad always told me, hard work beats talent, and talent doesn't work hard.
I love it. Hard work beats talent. Yes. Amazing. So Kendra Erika, everybody, thank you so much for joining us, Kendra. Tell everybody where they can reach you.
You can find me on Instagram at Kendra Erika, also Facebook, Kendra Erika Music, on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok. And as I always say, as Anna Delvey would say, and just Google me.
Amazing. Just Google her. Okay, so if you found this episode helpful, definitely make sure you all like, subscribe, comment. Let us know how much you liked it, because again, we want to get these likes up, everybody. And also, we finally are on TikTok. So if you haven't got a chance to check out our TikTok, it's going to be DBP talk show where you guys can check those out. And also you can get behind the scenes clips. You can get more exclusive clips that we may not show on the YouTube channel. Okay, so definitely follow us on TikTok, guys. But again, if you found this episode helpful, let us know in the comments. We would love to hear from you. Also, we are looking for sponsors, everybody. As you guys can see here, we do have our Divine Feminine candle from the It Factor Global Collection. But if you have a product that you feel like we also need to know about, send us an email, okay? Send us an email. It's going to be the link that's going to be in the bio that you all can check us out. We would love to hear from you. All right, so again, that wraps it up for Daisha Breedlove Presents. I will see you all next week with another inspirational episode. Ciao.